The Seattle Seahawks make their first big free agent signing of the 2025 offseason as they find their quarterback for the now and the future, adding Sam Darnold on a 3-year, $110 million contract, which is a fair contract at that when you consider the guy in Geno Smith, much older, is going to be up around in that $45 million range area. So much cheaper rate on a Sam Darnold, who is a much younger player. And when you come down to these two guys and how they play the game and really the equivalency between them, you are essentially in a lot of ways getting a little bit of a cheaper Geno Smith in Sam Darnold. There's some things that I worry about in Sam that I'm not quite sure that he has in his bag, that Geno has in his bag, but they are very close. Both have mobility, both have the upper level arm strength. And in Sam Darnold, you have a guy who might just be finally having the light bulb turn on here as he's getting a few years into his career, which we know can sometimes happen for quarterbacks. We like to think that they should just initially land right when they're drafted, and if they're good, they're good. If they're bad, they're bad. But sometimes it can take that extra years for the guys to develop in what is by far the toughest position in all of football. Darnold was picked by the Jets in 2018. No big blight on his career that he wasn't able to make it work there with the New York Jets, as few quarterbacks, if any, have been able to in the last 30, 40 years in that spot outside of a Joe Namath. So him going away and not working there and it not basically flaming out with Adam Gase as your head coach is not the worst thing to have happened. He bounced around a couple times, much like Geno Smith. Sometimes you have to wait to get that second opportunity. He waited until this Minnesota Vikings situation showed up for training camp where J.J. McCarthy had a torn ACL or a meniscus tear in his knee, and he took over the reins for that Vikings team, which was a very talented team, and took them to the playoffs. Had the best season of his career, his first Pro Bowl season at that. And so again, maybe very much this light bulb is coming on. The dimmer switch is coming up slowly but surely. This guy gives you the full meal deal from the quarterback position as far as that mobility, as far as being able to make every NFL throw. He's got that in his bag. Came into our house here in Lumen Field and spanked us when they came in on that, made some great throws in that game. It wasn't merely just everybody was kind of elevating him. He was certainly doing his part in that game and being very impressive. So a quarterback that gives you a well-rounded skill set with that top 5 pedigree. He's got the arm strength. He's got the mobility in there. He's a real tough player. We saw last year with the Minnesota Vikings team when they had him in the locker room and he was just being lifted up and raised up. That was a team that was really celebrating him too and really loved him. So it seems like he's going to bring some leadership in the locker room in addition to this. He also has the familiarity with this offense, having been with Kubiak once before when he was with the 49ers and having some of the same kind of shades of this offense, even in the kind of Kevin O'Connell system. So he should be a very quick fit to the scheme, and he should be able to hit the ground running. All good things on that side of it. I know that from a lot of people's perspective, this signing is not going to elicit a ton of excitement, and I completely understand that. Even myself, I'm a little bit kind of struggling on this one to really drum up a ton on it, but I can see what they're doing. I can understand the value of it. It's not an overpay, which is one of the main things you worry about with a quarterback. It's a fair deal. It's going to work here in the short term. We'll see if indeed he can click in and like can come on this way. Then it's going to be a great signing if he turns out to be a top 10 type quarterback as we move on into the future. We'll see what the Seahawks do now with the culminating other moves on the other side of this. Do you finally address the offensive line? For God's sakes, we shall see. But they've got this thing started out. We got our quarterback. Let's roll. My name is Brandon Kane. This is the Hawks Nest. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. But beyond all that, don't you ever forget, go Hawks.